Hey guys, Dylan here. I hope you're ready for a slightly bigger video today because we are going to be covering The Watchmen. No, not the comic book series, no, not the terrible TV series, and no, not the movie. We are going to be covering people who tried to protect Chris Chan. And we start this out with a quote, "You brought so much fucking joy to this world," which, no, people mock him, people laugh at him, but genuine joy, no, "to this world, and you continue to do so," praising Chris Chan. That's why, one of the reasons why, you need to remain safe. And that is a poorly worded sentence, and that is from a Watchman to Chris, and that just shows that they feel very important about their job protecting an internet retard. The Watchmen is a name given to a group of fantastical enablers whose members serve as gatekeepers and white knights for Chris, and I've encountered quite a few of these people before. In a similar manner to their predecessors, the guard dogs, they keep away malicious individuals trying to troll or scam Chris, and they did a terrible job at it because people were still getting close to Chris and doing stupid shit, and maybe some of these people were doing stupid shit, who knows? As a faction, the Watchmen were instrumental in numerous events over the course of late 2019 and onward, such as attempting to dismantle Jacob Sockness's influence over Chris, and yes, they got Gibby in on that, and drove him off. They also shut down the Arbitrat CWC Alliance Discord server, which I had an encounter with, and they were really fucking stupid, so good, but I also helped take down that Discord server, but whatever. When the true intent of the server was revealed, the Watchmen were behind the Discord leaks in August 2020, which means that they're not entirely good people, because they're leaking shit on Chris Chan to the trolls, but whatever. Their approach is controversial, as they gained Chris's favor by means of enabling his delusions by pretending to be fellow CPU goddesses and encouraging his beliefs in magical thinking and the dimensional merge. And Noel actively calls these people out, and I might have a clip at the end where he does so, because they've made Chris worse. They've made Noel not want to interact with him, because the only way to interact with Chris now is to pretend to be a magical girl, and not everyone's down to do that. Okay, I already made a fucking reference about this, so I'm just cutting all that out. Who cares? Who fucking cares about the name? We know the comic book series, it's fine. In contrast to how the Miscreants modeled themselves after Patriots from Metal Gear Solid, which means that these guys are just an evolution of the deep op trolls that used to exist. They're no better than the Miscreants. They're just enabling Chris Chan while leaking his shit anyway. They can pretend that it's for just reasons, but I see them at the same level. The same fucking level. Known member, Owls. Owls, known as Ryan, the CPU Turquoise Heart, which I probably had an encounter with him, that name sounds familiar, was the original leader of the Watchmen group, who was later discredited as a person with shady motives. Ooh, what a shock. Owl set MKR9V up to interact with Chris and founded the Watchmen's Discord server. Owls also acted as liaison between MKR9V's group and guard dog member Marvin. However, Owls lied to both about his intentions and later disappeared from the group. Not a shock. A lot of trolls end up disappearing in the end. Not. Also known by Kiwi Farm's handle, A Name is a Name, is the replacement of the leader of the Watchmen, taking over after Owl's departure. Not a clearly parody of Joshua Moon's handle, Null, very funny, monitors potential weens and enablers. And the next one is someone we've already done a video on, MKR Night-V. I am a CPU. That means I am directly on the same level of godhood as Christine, which is a lie, because Christine is like a super CPU who's above all other CPUs. He thinks that himself, even if he doesn't say it to people. He does see himself as the god of gods, the king of kings, so don't let him lie to you. Megan Kathleen Ringo was born on April 24th, 1992, also known under the aliases MKR Night-V, CPU Magenta Heart, and the Pixie-Tailed Artist, appeared in early 2019. She got in contact with Chris through Owls looking up Chris's phone number for her. She presented herself as being a CPU goddess of the Nintendo Switch, offering him validation on his fantasies and having magical powers. She has stated that her goal isn't to feed into Chris's delusions so much as to offer advice and help, which is what every fucking troll tries to do, and it doesn't fucking work, and then it leads to them trolling Chris. So, not a new story there either. She set up a Discord group for Chris, telling her friends to roleplay as CPU goddesses to gain Chris's trust, while also instituting a non-trolling rule, like they'll fucking listen to you. During the Jacob Sockness saga, in which Sockness attempted to manipulate Chris into a sexual relationship, MKR saw a danger in Sockness's intent and steered Chris away from him in summer of 2019. Sockness, who at the time was engaging in a full-scale war against Chris's enablers, followers, and critics alike, considered MKR to be an enemy of his and abused her vulnerability on Twitter. As his second dramatic cycle approached its climax in early November, she, as well as Aqua, largely migrated Sockness' influence over Chris, though Chris was still willing to listen to Sockness because Chris Chan is an actual fucking retard and you shouldn't try to tell him what to do because he'll just end up fucking you over. He's done it for years. He will always continue to do that. Aqua Diamond 8. Christine, please stop this. Mewtwo is not real. The merge is not happening. You need serious help. If you need help, there are people to help you with these delusions. This is incredibly unhealthy for you, acting like Chris will actually listen to her. Still, I don't want Jacob Sockness attacking people when the merge happens. Christine has said there will be no more war, no need for violence in the merge. My Sapphire has foreseen this. Wow. Watch how quickly that changes. March to November. Went from telling Chris it was all fake to enabling it by November. What a fucking hypocrite. What a fucking hypocrite. Aqua Diamond 8 is a Twitter user who has bounced from being a ween to a white knight to an enabler. In November 2019, after having tried to discourage Chris Chan's delusions months before, Aqua abruptly switched tactics and instead embraced Chris's delusional beliefs. She changed her Twitter handle to CPU Goddess Aqua of the MacBook Pro. Like MKR, Aqua had frequent spats with Sockness. Later, Aqua began drawing fan art of her OC interacting with Magichan. She then posted a Pokemon drawing claiming it to be an Ult Dimension Magichan. Val Valencino is a masked magician, a celestial powerful magician. Dex enter. The Magichan is so powerful he has to mentally project a simplified form that the human mind can comprehend. Looking at his true form would drive you mad. Dex unknown. And I don't fucking know what the fuck this is. I guess this is an interaction with Chris Chan. Chris was enticed by the news. Seriously, you discovered an alternate dimension Magichan Sonichu? This is very interesting find. I'll look more into it myself and steal it. Also, for your information regarding which variant, dimension, or timeline of origin, special, regular, or mega evolved, the Pokédex number for Sonichu and Rosachu will always be 982 and 979 respectively until Pokemon goes past that number, and then I'll retcon it. Aqua answered, "Oh, I wasn't even aware. I'll make sure to write that down. But he more discovered me in a way. I was meaning to chat with your hubby when I realized I wasn't in a normal meeting spot, then he appeared through a portal." So that's just some fucking LARPing that Chris and that person's doing. As of September 2020, Aqua is confirmed to no longer be involved with the Watchmen's activities, which I'm not shocked. Lane Chu. Lane Chu, also known as Lane Chu the Chronicler, is an OC created by Chris, whose purpose is to document Chris's activities, and unofficially to provide Christorians with first-hand information. Since August 7th, 2020, Chris has assigned the role to one of the Watchmen, with the role initially assigned to the Quickie Discord server creator, Klop. Or Clop. However, as of late August 2020, Klop or Clop has resigned from the role and another user has taken on the mantle, with Chris none the wiser. Chris based the OC on the protagonist of the anime I Don't Fucking Care, cause I'm not a fucking weeb, in which a teenage girl finds herself engaged with a virtual world network, reminiscent of the internet, which I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. And MKR Night V drew that. I could tell because it looks bad. The WCT. The WCT is also known as Wildcat and Neko Onyx, which I definitely know who this is a Watchmen member who has archived calls involving Chris. Kyle. The inspiration for Chris's Kyle Chu OC. Kyle appeared in Google Hangout chats. Wow, deep fucking story. Origins. Around January 2019, Owl's motives Unknown helped MKR Knifey get in contact with Chris. MKR tried to help Chris find CPU goddesses to talk to, telling her friends to roleplay as goddesses over Discord. Owls act as a gatekeeper between MKR's friends and Chris. Owl also acted as a liaison between the CPU group, which this is just repeating what it said earlier. You should cut this article down because repeating is lame and it makes the article look unprofessional. The latter group, also known as gatekeepers, Chris at the time, but according to Not, Owls misrepresented his true goals in both groups. Wow, this is just repeating shit. Why would you fucking repeat the article? Q&A. Christorians interviewed Not on September 4th, 2020, asking some clarifying questions about the Watchmen. They posted the answer on the official CWCki Discord. The interviewers' questions are colored red. Not's are colored white. The first questions appeared to be referring to the Discord server. Who started and why? Owls, the guy who set up the MKR and Joseph draft, got Aqua and MKR to draw some art to lure Chris in. I was told it was going to be for Chris's patrons. Why was it killed? It was killed because Owls and Joseph didn't know how to wrangle tards. MKR and Aqua were being blamed for making it, so I asked for a mod role and kept asking for more perms and deleted all the channels. I posted the rolling and trolling video. Who killed it? I killed it. Joseph and Smokey Chris the Spurg, which I'm not shocked were involved, were using the server to gather content. Wow. Fucking Smokey Chris was involved. Not a shock. Not a shock. I'm not even shocked by it. They convinced Joseph I was Johan. After a 4-hour conversation, I got Joseph Draft to face dox himself once he destroyed his drive with Chris versus the internet. The last two appeared to refer to the Watchmen as a group. Why did Aqua leave? The stress and people at her on Twitter. Her and MK are still friends. Will the group be around forever? As long as Chris is in need or willing, yes. So that was everything involving the Watchmen. A lot of people that I have known were involved in this shit. A lot of people I don't talk to, practically everyone here I don't talk to anymore, were involved in this shit. These people are another group of gatekeeping trolls who pretend to be concerned over Chris Chan. If you meet any of these people, know who they are, know what their intentions are, know that they are no better than the trolls that came before them, no matter what justifications they give themselves. Anyone who feeds into Chris's delusions are just as bad as any other troll in the Chris Chan community. The only right position to have is to watch Chris Chan and not enable him. Don't enable him. Don't troll him. Don't prank him. The more you feed into his shit, the worse off he becomes. These people aren't helping Chris. They're only hurting Chris. And that is the most ironic thing about all this.
Because the thing is, and the reason why Chris can't be helped right now is that Chris has this mindset where the only people he is willing to talk to and allow to interact with him are people who further this perpetual daydream that he's in. If you're not willing to play a part in the daydream, then then you upset him and he will turn from you. He'll ice you out completely. But because of this, the people who are most willing to play up to the daydream, to the fantasies, are people who are deeply mentally unwell, who have no problem spending 6 hours a day role-playing with Chris about these fantasies and encouraging him and shaping the direction that they go. So by the rules of the game, you can either be a full-time handler of Chris, or you can be nothing to him, and it's extremely frustrating because it started happening after we got Idea Guy out. He started saying, you know, like I want to get this Discord server up. I want to invite all the famous My Little Pony, and it's true that there are a lot of people in the anime and My Little Pony fandoms who are huge fans of Chris and who actually want to like covet his attention, not because they care about Chris, but because they think it's funny. Like, oh, can you do a drawing of my pony OC? Can you do a drawing of my girlfriend's pony OC? She's such a big fan of Sonichu. Can you draw her something? It's like that kind of shit. And there are all these fucking check marks in the anime and My Little Pony communities who just take advantage of him because he's a fan of theirs. And then they fuck him over because they'll play along with this bullshit And once he has famous My Little Pony people playing along with his game, then he doesn't have to listen to people who won't play along with it, because he's already got the attention that he wants. And that has seriously fucked him over. The internet has completely destroyed any possibility that Chris had of living a normal life. It's very frustrating, because it's like, I know that there are ways that Chris could stabilize himself. He is now legitimately so famous that if he could just sit down to doing a couple commission drawings and stream appearances and stuff, because in the brief period where I was able to handle him and get him stream appearances and stuff, like, people are willing to pay for his attention in a way that's not harmful to him. But there has to be some level of involvement there, because he can't make those decisions on his own. So I don't know. It is immensely frustrating to see him in the position that he is in, and knowing the position that he will be in the moment that Barb dies, and not being able to help because he has chosen these conditions for association that I refuse on principle to be with. I just refuse. I know I could. Like, right now, if I wanted to text him and do the whole make-believe shit with him, I could easily become the next Chris Handler, like, right now. But I refuse, not only out of principle, but out of time.
Hey guys, Dylan here. Today we are going to be doing another quickie discussion. Today's quickie discussion, we will be continuing the White Knight series. There has been some recent White Knight articles made, so I'm actually going to be continuing this series. I know I thought it was going to be over too, but we just covered someone the other day, and now I've got another person I want to talk about. I've actually been following this person for over a year. I can confirm that they do defend Chris Chan on Twitter, that they do associate with other people that I plan on talking about in future White Knight videos. So this person is genuine. I can confirm that. This person is known as MKR Knight V. Now, that's not their actual name. That's the name of their comic book, and it's one of the aliases they go under along with Pixie Tail artists. This person is Megan K. Ringo. Megan is a cosplaying White Knight who pretended to be various cartoon characters in order to talk with Chris in chat forums. Now, this is very similar to the last person we talked about, who also tried doing very similar things, but on Twitter with parody accounts, while he was in an already deteriorated mental state. In order to more closely associate with Chris and gain his trust, Megan has taken on the persona of Magenta, Heart CPU Goddess, the Patreon of the Nintendo Switch. That one doesn't exist, I assume, because the Nintendo Switch just came out, so she actually used a little bit of smart thinking there. She has also created her own comic series in a similar style to the Sonichu comic. Let's take a look at this girl. She has pink anime hair, which is a wig. She's wearing a Kingdom Hearts shirt, and she has cat ears and cat gloves. She looks like a real weeaboo. She has a crab as her wallpaper on her computer. I like crabs, so I'll give her a plus for that one. She's not hideous. She's just not much to look at either, and her house looks like an 80-year-old man lives in it. Okay, name Megan K. Ringo, and we already read all that. She was born on April 24th, 1992, so she is 26. She is an actual female, and she is a cosplayer, apparently. MKR managed to infiltrate Chris's inner circle by drawing fan art and white knighting in Twitter comments. I have actually seen her white knighting. At some points, she managed to obtain Chris's phone number, and the two exchanged texts for a while, with Chris falling for the ploy, hook, line, and sinker. As mentioned before, MKR created the Magenta, Heart CPU Goddess, and created a small Discord server where her and her friends roleplayed with Chris as various CPU goddesses. And I would recommend you not do this if you don't want to be doxxed by Kiwi Farms inevitably, with Chris perceiving it all as real because he's a fucking loony now. Along with this charade, Megan produced various Sonichu and Knight V fan art, including a medallion. Let's take a look at her medallion. It actually looks 10 times better than anything Chris Chan could have ever made, and it actually looks decently painted. I bet you it's also made with Crayola model magic and acrylic paints, just keeping a little bit more accurate to the whole Chris Chan thing. It's a nice looking medallion. I'm gonna go over this little brief summary of the comic, but I'm not actually actually going to tell you about the comic itself. I'm not going to tell you the plot of it because I do plan on reviewing the comic. So if you watch my comic review series, eventually we will be covering the Night V comic. Night V comic. Megan is the creator of the comic character Night V, stylized Night V, which is a combination of the Sega character Knights and the Pokemon character Eevee, copying Sonichu, how Sonichu was Sonic and Pikachu. The comic follows the adventures of Night V and her friends in the Pokemon world. I would say in the Sonichu world because it shows off a lot of the Sonichu continuity, but it's whatever you want to say, author of the Quickie page on this. The Night V comic series is very similar in plot, character arcs, and art direction to the Sonichu comics, almost like it's supposed to be in the same world. However, though, Megan's art style is still very amateur. It is noticeably better than Chris's, which is not hard to do. Anyone can draw better than Chris. Despite Megan's younger age and presumably lesser experience, Megan managed to convince Chris using the CPU magenta heart personality that Night V was canon to Sonichu, so now her shitty OC is canon to the Sonichu world. Though, whether or not this is the case is still dubious. It's probably true. We just haven't seen an issue that the character is in. So that was Megan. Megan actually was able to get close to Chris Chan, was able to befriend him, and now her character might even be canon to Sonichu. I will review your comics eventually, Megan, and as for now, I would say don't copy what Megan's doing. Don't try to befriend Chris with some stupid fucking goddess persona trying to get close to him, because most of the time it won't work. It just happened to work here. Hey guys, Dylan here, and today we are going to be doing a Sonic Insanity. Now the beginning of this is going to be done on the Quickie because I'm going to read this little bit of an article they've got here, but the rest of it will be taking place on Twitter. Now, this is more Magi-chan related stuff, so I hope you guys are ready to hear more about Magi-chan and Chris Chan's love life. Now, this person we are talking about is Helena Fiorenza, whatever. I don't know her last name. Fuck it. Who cares? So I'm going to get made fun of for not knowing weird foreign last names anyway. I'm just going to call her Helena. That's an easy name to say. Is an Argentinian who draws surrealistic art, which means shit. In September of 2019, Helena posted to Twitter Photoshop drawings of Magi-chan and roleplayed that she and Magi-chan had gone on a date. Now, Chris Chan is in a marriage with Magi-chan, a poly marriage with Magi-chan. But the way they have it set up is that they all are together. So that means that Magi-chan, Sylvana, Mewtwo, and Krizzle, I think it is, they're all together with each other. And if I got that last one's name wrong, I'm sorry. She doesn't do anything in Sonichu lore, so fuck her, who cares? But yeah, they're all supposed to be in a relationship together. So I'm going to count this as cheating. That's what I'm going to do. So Magi-chan went on a date with this woman, which is cheating on his marriage. And we're going to find out more of the shit Magi-chan has been up to. Chris noticed and followed Helena back. While in his own phase of role-playing as Magi-chan, Chris answered, "The images Helena has been uploading chronicled the one day she had shared together. And yes, I did spend the night. And her bed was comfortable. Thank you for your kindness and hospitality. My wish I made is coming true. I have foreseen." And that's Magi-chan's little tag. Later updates, drawing of her OC. Okay, well, I'm going to save that. We can learn this stuff together. Okay, so this begins on September, not the 21st exactly. It was 2 days before that. So September 19th. And she had made a post, and Chris ended up retweeting it. So retweeting it or following her because of that, and that let her know that she could interact with Chris. She said, "Thank you, I will post more pictures soon." And then she made this one, a Magi-chan standing in front of her scanner, which is identical to the one that I have. And it says, "Hey, Chris and Magi-chan is giving me some advice, telling you so you know where he is." And this is during the whole Magi-chan shit. If you haven't seen my video on that, go watch that and you'll be caught up on all of this. Magichan and I are having some mint tea, and Magichan is leaned on the table there. His outlines are poor and sketchy. I don't know how a being like that could exist in our world, but whatever. I asked Grandma where Magichan was. She pointed to the front garden and told me to take a chance and take a picture of him. Yeah, that definitely looks like he fits in here. The lighting is definitely not off. What a beautiful animal is roaming my house. Are you retarded? My grandma. I guess your grandma is retarded. Oh, I guess it's broken English, maybe? I don't know. Weird. And she shared those photos. And now this I had talked about during the Magichan video, is she's the one who did the artwork of Magichan interacting on this live stream, saying that Magichan appeared there. And Chris tweeted it saying, "Oh, there's a special photo bombing in this video. For the record, the camera tends to add an animated flair, even though he wasn't animated. Magichan's more realistic in person." Then she posts another one, "Made a wish, but didn't tell me what it was for. Hope it comes true." And then we get this one of Mewtwo. "Today, a little windy, but that didn't stop me from going to the plaza. There are a couple of gyms there, and I didn't dare to challenge the one in the middle." So I think that was about Pokemon Go, maybe. And she draws winking wrong, but I'll forgive her for that. "Magichan and I stopping for a moment and resting. He found the table quite inspirational." And that's probably her own artwork that she's shilling there. Nighttime and Magichan is laying down there. And this is more than a day. This is like multiple days Magichan was shacking up with this woman. And now Wild is here. And Chris confirmed that Magichan is canonically here. But I want to know if Wild is confirmed to be canonically here. Because that means Wild is cheating on his wife. And there's his daughter right there, Sandy, looking pretty. So I guess all the Sonichu characters are here. And Rosachu looking at all this water. "Remember to drink your water, gamers." Ha ha ha, you're so funny. "This is how it felt to see Magichan for the first time. I can see the horror and beauty." Ha ha ha. That's Chris's terrible OC pony, and she tells us that some of her artwork got featured on Chris's cards, and I bet you she got copies of those. "Been inspired lately. I will draw some more once I get back home." And these are some more doodles of Sonichu characters. Here is some Magichan on the trip we took. And that Magichan is actually the Magichan on that sketch paper there. So if we're going with the whole Magichan is real bullshit, then why is that Magichan sketch right here the same Magichan right there? That doesn't make any sense, but whatever, Chris. Here are the latest pictures of Magichan from the road trip. Are those all they're all... Okay, Chris, you're... Okay, they're all on the sketch pad. Thank you. Magichan, Derek caught him smiling. Oh, that's the other Magichan. That's Derek. We learned about him in the multiverse video I did. The video with all the different OCs. Magichan and I talking. I feel like a therapist, but in a good way. Magichan is usually like really wise, so he should be your therapist, not the other way around. But this person is into this type of shit, and they are gonna slowly turn Magichan into a boy toy, and it's hilarious. When he smiles, the light in his eyes is beautiful, and he's holding an animated cup, despite the fact that he is supposed to be the only animated one here. But for some reason, his cup is also a drawing. Walking with Magichan, he tried to jump instead, just float, so would look taller. I told him to just stand straight. There is no shame in being short. And that is our wonderful thumbnail, and she thinks that because she can work a blur effect that makes it look like Magichan is real. Forgot to post this yesterday. What a sleepy cutie, and you can see Magichan's butt right there. Jeffrey and Magichan exchanging advice. Now, Jeffrey, this is where things get real. This is where this possible troll shows their true motive. Jeffrey is this person's OC. Now, Jeffrey is not a woman, as you can tell by the name. Jeffrey is a trap. Jeffrey is a guy character who looks like a woman. Jeffrey and Magichan exchanging advice. Jeff is sharing his sweet style, seems kinda fits. It's also big on Jeffrey. So Chris has confirmed that Magichan did go and see this person, and Magichan is now flirting with a trap. So Magichan is is cheating with this trap. Well, right now they're just friends, but we'll learn more about this soon. And you have to enjoy the simple things in life. Now, Magi-chan is wearing a woman's outfit here because they are slowly turning Magi-chan into a fucking trap. Magi-chan is wearing like women's panties and stockings and a blue shirt. And now Magi-chan is laying in bed naked with that Jeff character. So Jeff is boning Magi-chan. So this person made shit with Magi-chan, fed into Chris's delusions. Chris confirmed that is Magi-chan, and then they got Magi-chan to cheat on Chris with Jeff. I have not heard Chris say that he approves of Magi-chan fucking around with Jeff. So Magi-chan is a cheater. He's cheating on Chris with a trap. And this is a little comic they made. You sure? Well, it makes me feel pretty. It is still weird. So how does it feel? Comfy? And then he gives a weird smile. And that's the outfit he had on a second ago. And there's some more stuff they drew. This is another OC they have. There are many places to explore when you go to Quickville, so make sure to visit Quickville, and that's another account that I might cover another day. Magi-chan and me standing in the Christmas tree, fan art by this person. And I guess they've been getting around the Chris community, because they're hanging out with the Visit Quickville people, Richard Righteous, who's been in my chats a lot. They're really branching out to the other people in the Chris-chan community. And then Don't We Look Like Twins, another fucking picture breaking the fourth wall. W's for winner. And now Magi-chan's exclusively wearing the trap outfit. So first it was Magi-chan. Now they're putting Magi-chan in all of these trap outfits. And I can't help but feel that this might be a troll, but I could be wrong. Fixed. He's inside now. So they've turned Magi-chan into a trap whore who is sleeping with a man. There is a different place to go when you visit Quickville. There are some more mysterious than others. It is awful when some plans fail. You can still plan to visit Quickville. Whatever, who cares? Visiting Quickville, who gives a shit? Another Trap Magi-chan design. A picture of them. More Trap Magi-chans. More of a comic book, because of course these people always gotta fucking make a comic. Here's some regular Magi-chan artwork of him with Chris. I'm assuming if they didn't draw this, Chris would continue to be extremely pissed at them. Apparently an alternate dimension version of Chris is just Johnny Bravo, according to this. We might have our prime versions, but sometimes we find alternate versions. I guess Chris in another universe is Johnny Bravo, or Johnny Bravo is Chris. More Trap Magi-chan. Even more Trap Magi-chan wearing a dress that time. And people are inspired by that. Some friendships are special, and Magi-chan knows it. Yeah, it's definitely what a friendship looks like when they eye each other lustfully, and they're not even looking in each other's eyes right. Friends, and they're actually making out with each other, because that's what friends do. Boys will be boys, and they're dressed like traps. Break, but it's good this time. Magi-chan hanging out with the doctor, because that's what we need. That's the crossover we need. And finally, MKR Night V drawing this person's character. So this person's character has worked its way into Christory because they did artwork of Magi-chan, and then they slowly worked their shit in because they're an attention whore. So yeah, that's everything you need to know about Helena. Helena is the one who drew Magi-chan stuff at first to feed into Chris's delusions, then used that to whore out her own OC, and Chris doesn't even seem to acknowledge it. So Chris is getting cucked by Jeff. Hey guys, Dylan here, and today we are going to be doing a quickie discussion. Today's quickie discussion is on someone who I would consider to be a white knight, and their name is Midnight Moonflower. And we start with a quote from this person. It's funny because before my manic episodes, I used to dislike her. That's her referring to Chris-chan. Claire Garcia, screen name Midnight Moonflower, was born on October 2nd, very close to my birthday, 1992, the same year my older sister was born. Is an enabler and gal pal who first gained Chris's attention on Twitter by sending him a birthday gift, drawing of them embracing. Claire first learned of Chris through Sonichu the animated series, a terrible way to find out about Chris, while an introduction like that would permanently poison the well for an average person. Her initial disgust grew into respect, stemming from a feeling of kinship towards him, which is usually the sign that she's fucking crazy and to stay away from her. In many ways, aside from the notable presence of a sweetheart, Claire is similar to Chris. She is artistically stagnant, has been the target of trolling to the extent of having her nudes her nudes leaked? How did her nudes get leaked? Who did her boyfriend leak them? Was she sending nudes to other people and cheating on her boyfriend? I need to know more info on that. That should be a whole fucking part of this article. I want to know about that. And shares interest in Sonic, Pokemon, and My Little Pony. If her behavior and slightly off-tonal inflections are anything to go by, she's probably autistic as well, which I wouldn't doubt that. Chris and Claire's mutual appreciation of franchises targeted toward children and similar life experiences accumulated in their meeting at BronyCon. After the event, he would go on to spend the night in her apartment because he lost his wallet. No romancing was to be had that night. However, because Claire is married, and B, if anything sexual was to happen, you know, Chris would have bragged about it. Well, I want to say that she's married and that's the reason why she'd never do something like that, but her nudes leaked, and I don't know the context behind that because the Quickie article hasn't given me the context. So I'd really want to know who she is and if she was sending nudes to other people. In June 2019, Claire reported Gino Samuel's YouTube channel for bullying. Namely, and I think that's the Gino Samuel channel that got deleted. It got a lot of its videos removed. It got in big trouble because people were mass reporting it. So it seems like she was one of the people who flagged Gino. Fuck her. Talking shit. The bullying in question is attributed to a live stream where Gino said he thought Chris looked better than her. That's hilarious. This hostility was a great overreaction considering how he immediately followed up the statement with, "I don't want to be mean." Chris congratulated Claire in the action she took, although he confused her reporting the YouTube channel with her blocking Gino on Twitter, which I can believe Chris would do that because Chris is kinda inept. Unsurprisingly, the channel is still up on YouTube. Okay, so I guess this isn't the channel that got reported. I know he got in a lot of shit before because people mass reported him, but still, don't fucking report Gino. He didn't do anything. And the only repercussion from Claire's decision to report it is that her husband grounded her from commenting on social media platforms for a week. And considering that I don't know who she is and I've never heard of her up until this point, she's probably no one important. Now let's take a look at some of the pictures that were in her article. First is the drawing that got Chris's attention. We can see that the anatomy is all fucked, their asses are giant, their legs are misproportionate. The only thing decent is the face, except for she's got side lip going on. It looks like something you'd be impressed by if your middle schooler drew it, but she is a grown woman. Chris's hand is completely fucked, as well as his arm. They just fucked everything up. What her deal is. It's funny because before my manic episodes, I used to dislike her. Then I realized I'm experiencing what she is. Then I drew her fan art, made a pic of her and me hugging, put it on Twitter. She DM'd me, inviting me to BronyCon. I bought a ticket. I invited her over to my house, took a selfie with her, while I forgot to fix my hair, got bullied, hung out with her at BronyCon, and we are still good friends to this day. We text each other and support each other. I guess I'll believe that. I haven't heard of you before, but okay. This is her introduction to Chris. Yeah, Spaz Kids Sonichu animated series was the introduction to Sonichu. At first I was on the bandwagon until my third visit to the behavioral hospital, so she's actually been institutionalized before, no wonder why. I realized that I have done similar things when manic, and was demonized for it. I realized Christine felt the same way when demonized and trolled. So I kind of felt bad and horrible and wanted to be Christine's friend. I drew fan art. My first fan art of her was stolen from another patient. Then I redrew it on her birthday. Oddly enough, she messaged me asking me if I wanted to meet up at BronyCon. Then I agreed to. I already read that, so it doesn't really fucking matter. Every time I see that comment, Chris needs real friends, I'm like, bitch, I'm a real friend of her. We plan on meeting up again soon. And now let's take a look at that photo that she got made fun of her and Chris. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with this photo here. She has one of the true and honest medallions on. And her hair does look like shit, so I'll give her that. And Chris looks like he's being held hostage. Just my own take there. And next is this drawing that has zero context. There's nothing here to explain what this is, but I guess I'll read it. The man is saying, I take no shit from anyone, and I shall keep midnight and our family safe and well. And then Chris is saying, between midnight and dusk, their ship together is simply awesome. And I guess that's Dusk, and that's her character. It's kind of reminding me of how Chris is treating me and Taylor, and it's very creepy indeed. Now this is what Midnight looked like when she was younger, or Claire looked like when she was younger. She looks perfectly normal. She looks like someone I would have hung out with back in middle school or high school. And that's her boyfriend behind her. Apparently they've been together for a long time. And this is her now. The only one who seems to have aged well at all is her boyfriend. She just doesn't look anything like how she used to. But then again, I haven't really met too many of the people I knew back in high school. Maybe they look the same way now. Maybe everyone is gonna fucking turn terrible later. This is her, Chris, and some other people I don't know at BronyCon. We can see multiple people are wearing unicorn horns, and Christian has something on his fucking forehead that I have no idea about. He's wearing bicycling gloves for no reason, and it's just a weird fucking scene here. And this is a picture of her. Apparently she bought the shirt that me and Taylor released years ago, and she bought it solely to match Chris. But unlike with Chris, when I seen his, it was actually pretty nice looking. Hers is all wrinkly and crumpled up, almost like she had it like balled up in a corner and then just decided to put it on. I don't know how it got this wrinkly. Apparently she doesn't own an iron. This is her explanation about the Sonichu and Rosachu shirt. I bought the Sonichu and Rosachu shirt, mentioned it, and it's at my parents' house in Florida. I haven't told Lurico? Who the fuck is that? About it since I thought he'd yell at me. I don't know who that is. I'm going to tell him about it today. And to be fair, I won't take any pictures of me wearing the shirt. You did. You did though. Maybe and one to send to Christine. Well, obviously that one leaked. Smart idea. This is her talking about the picture she drew of her and Chris. Oh, and to the guy who thought it would be cute and funny to ship me and Christine, I hate to break your shipping heart, but I am already married to my husband for 8 years, and I'm not giving his name for his safety, but Dusk is based off of him. Oh, okay, now I'm starting to understand. The only ship pictures of Midnight and Chris were drawn by Midnight, which is very true, so hypocritical. This has no context to it. There's nothing written beneath it, so I guess I'll just read it. I had a nice chat with her today. I can't wait for her to visit me again. Art stuff, this world I'm in. When I sleep, I imagine or fantasize called Midnight World, and about when she can visit. She's busy right now, though. I can't go to any cons at the moment. I'm broke. What a shock. Which is why I'm working to activate my Patreon. Well, I got paid $500 on January 1st. She's hours away from my house apartment. Apparently houses and apartments are the same thing, but houses are spelled differently to her. Last time she visited, she had to stay with me for a couple of days since she lost her wallet. When she visits, she's welcome to spend the night again. Not a lot of people would let Chris sleep in their house, but I guess if you feel safe, go for it. Issues with Gino Samuel, saying Chris looked better than her, so let's read that. This is the post that started it all. At Gino Samuel, this guy decided to talk shit on his live stream. It comes much later on, but I reported him for bullying. He basically had deleted photos of me and said I was uglier than Chris. "This is not cool." And Chris said, "You did the right thing by blocking him." Okay, so Chris made it apparently obvious that he immediately thought that she blocked him instead of reported him. "Many kudos to you, and gratitude for pointing him out. This is very poor taste." This is probably what made him notice Gino to begin with, to be honest. "Getting grounded by her husband for drawing attention to herself. Just to let anyone knows who follows me. I realized that I fucked up when I reported Gino Samuel. I should have just left him alone and ignored him. My husband and I got into an argument, so I won't be able to comment on stuff for a week. I'm sorry, everyone." Maybe he took her away again, and that's why I haven't seen her in Christian shit. That's probably it. Let's see if there's any more context. Midnight felt confided enough with Chris to discuss their past sexual harassment and manipulation. "Well, our conversation got weird when Christine decided to follow my not safe for work account, but I realized what a lot of trolls done to Christine back when she identified as Christian was sexual harassment, since they had sent her nudes and lewd videos, and we both discussed our past relationships. I experienced sexual harassment many times and had been manipulated into sending nudes of myself." So then you did cheat on your husband, or was this before you were married? I don't know. "Christine and I have got more in common than I thought. Maybe that's why she's a good friend of mine." So I guess that's why it's so vague, because she didn't really give detail about the sending nude shit, and we don't really know when that happened. So maybe she is true and honest and doesn't cheat on her husband. This is a male Rosachu OC that she made, apparently, and its name is Romeo. This is her plans on going shopping with Chris. "Chris plans on visiting me soon. I am going to hang out with her and go clothes shopping with her. I noticed that she doesn't have much clothes, so I'm helping her out. Christine is my friend, so yep, help a friend out." And finally, this is her talking about something that Christian gave her. "Christine is actually a nice person. She's not greedy like the trolls say she is. She got me this candy bowl too. Probably with money that people gave her to survive with, and now Chris is just wasting it. What a shock." And that's everything up to now about Midnight Moonflower. Midnight Moonflower is a very uneventful person. The only big thing they ever did was flag Gino. But other than that, she's just a random woman on the internet. I'm going to be talking about a guy known as Noah is Smelly. So hopefully you guys are excited for this. I will be reading this off of the Quickie because the Quickie had the best article I could find about this guy. This guy is related to Kristen Weston Chandler, but it's not just Chris Chan. So at least this is something different. It's not just a Chris Chan Sonic Insanity again. It's some guy related to Chris Chan. But let's learn about this crazy man today. Now, his article is known as Multi-Dimensional White Knights. Now, you're gonna figure out why this title is given to him and his page. And one of the things that I find really interesting about this is that they're calling him a White Knight, which he is defending Chris Chan, but I don't know if he's defending Chris Chan because he honestly likes Chris Chan, or if he's defending Chris Chan because he wants attention and he wants to be known as a White Knight. Because I've seen a few different people on Twitter defend Chris Chan, and they seem to be more committed to it than this man, and they usually end up being total fucking weirdos. This guy seems to just be some rando who had a bunch of character accounts that decided to start white knighting for Chris Chan for attention. That's my vibe off of this though. So let's read his article. The Multi-Dimensional White Knights, the MWK, dear God, they have an acronym, are a group of accounts created by the user Noah is Smelly, which, by the way, if you have to choose a username, Noah is Smelly is a very good one, because judging by this photo, I assume Noah is smelly, but I do like his dog, though. You can see by the side of his face that he is a fat man. He's got, you can see his cheek bulging out right there. I can't see all of his hair, so he might be balding, which is why I decided to use the South Park Gamer to represent this man, because you can see his glasses popping out, you can see his pudgy face, and you can see the side of his hair. He looks just like the South Park Gamer guy. That's why I decided to use that for the thumbnail and for the stream background. I thought it was very fitting since we don't know what this man totally looks like, but I'm gonna assume that that's probably what he does look like. They were created as a means to further deluding Chris into his beliefs of fictional characters existing in alternate universes. Now, for those of you guys who have no idea what I'm talking about, you need to watch my coverage of the dimensional merge and all of that shit. Go into my Chris Chan rabbit hole playlist if you want to know about any of this shit, because I can't summarize it. All I can say is Chris Chan is a crazy man who thinks that cartoon characters exist in other dimensions. That's the only way that I can describe it. That's a brief summary. If you want to know more, watch my older videos. To gain his trust and further weaning in the vein of the Idea Guys, and I did videos on the Idea Guys too. Noah joined Twitter February 2019 to cash in on the then current meme parody accounts for very fictional characters. Now, that's not actually a current trend. That's been around since like the beginning of Twitter. People have had parody accounts forever. It's not relevant. It's not funny. I don't even like any of these accounts. It's more funny when like actual corporations have these accounts and they're memeing. Like the Sonic the Hedgehog one or the Wendy's account. Those are the funny ones, not these stupid fucking parody accounts. These parody accounts are a dime a dozen. Even the ones that he has, they're a dime a dozen. Of various fictional characters, primarily Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Why would you want to be anyone from Diary of a Wimpy Kid? And The Amazing World of Gumball, which is one of the main accounts that we will be looking at today. When the meme lost popularity, he turned his attention to Chris, who was in the midst of the soft exile at the time. Now, the reason why he was exiled is because this is during the Twitter lockout saga, which I also did a long video on that too, so go check that out. Basically, a bunch of trolls decided to get all the brony analysts and all the brony people that he followed to block him on Twitter. And Chris Chan had a freak out, feeling very vulnerable. And I guess this man tried to play up on that vulnerability by pretending to be fictional characters that Chris Chan could attach himself to. But I don't know if it worked. I think that this is kind of a failure if you instantly get called out on it and instantly caught like this. Though Chris accepted his follow request, Noah's fangirling fell on deaf ears, which is usual with Chris. Usually when someone is obsessed with Chris or trying to get his attention, he doesn't really notice them. It's weird. It's usually the people that are incredibly rude and abusive to him that he actually notices. As he was being drowned out by Chris feeling sorry for himself and Sockness fapping, his luck changed in June 2019 as Chris abruptly and unceremoniously opened his Twitter back up to public viewing, which that was also covered in the Twitter video. Check that out if you have no clue what the fuck I'm talking about. Chris liked 2 of Noah's tweets, which helped embolden his weaning and white knighting efforts. I hate these people. I hate these people that want attention. They want to be known on the quickie. They want to be known by Christorians, so they go out and they do this stupid shit. I hate it. It's gay. I don't like any of this shit. I think if you're trying to be a troll in the modern day, you're a fucking loser. And I think if you're trying to be a white knight in the modern day, you're a fucking loser. Just fucking watch Chris Chan and talk about it. Don't try to put yourself into the world of Chris Chan. You're only gonna make things worse if you try to help or hurt Chris. It was also known around this time he created a series of sock puppets account known as the Knights of C197. And C197 is a term that Chris Chan came up with for the fictional dream universe where all the made-up characters exist and interact with each other. It's more dimensional merge shit. Here's the first account, at Carrie Kruger 17. First MWK account went under the name Carrie Kruger 17, which assumed the role of Carrie Kruger, a ghost character from the Cartoon Network series The Amazing World of Gumball. Most of the tweets that Carrie posted remained ignored, but Chris did like some, even commenting on a video he made to the channel Chris's Psychic Power. On the 11th of July 2019, Chris conducted a wave of blockings against perceived trolls. I remember when that happened. Shockingly, he didn't block my account. I'm amazed I didn't get blocked either. And Carrie was most likely caught up in this wide net, which is hilarious. He got caught when he was trying to white knight Chris, and I didn't get caught when I make videos talking shit about Chris. Yet again, what I said earlier seems to prove true. Leaked DMs from the @Sonichu merch confirm this, with Noah begging Sonichu merch to put in the good word to Chris to get him unblocked. So for those of you guys who didn't know, Sonichu merch is someone who knows Chris Chan, and even tried to help Chris Chan raise up money back when he was trying to take care of some kittens. I also made a video on that. Sorry that I keep plugging shit, but this is like connected to everything I've ever talked about. So I have to keep telling you I made a video on it so you know where to go, which video to look for, so you can have context to this and know who the fuck I'm talking about. He says in his screenshot, "I need someone to let Christine know. I mean no harm. Let her know she made a mistake by blocking me. It was all due to a misunderstanding. There's going to be proof video soon that actually shows C197. So this person is saying that they can show the fictional world of Quickville and C197, even though it doesn't fucking exist. That's how into this shit they are. They're role playing so hard that they're trying to convince Chris that they can show him C197, even though it doesn't fucking exist. Tito Dickman Baby, the second incarnation of Carrie. This account was created by Noah in 2016, presumably to cash in on the then relevant Nutshack meme, which kind of contradicts what they said earlier. They said that this was a trend in 2019 when it's been a trend for years. People have made these accounts for years, like this one, with Tito Dick being one of the more recognizable characters from the show. Noah renovated this into a new Carrie to replace the blocked Carrie Kruger 17, but he kept the Dickman @ Why? Why couldn't you come up with a new @? You can easily change your @. He could have changed his @ back to the other one and just got rid of the other account altogether. It makes no sense. This is just gonna make it easier for you to be traced and easier for people to fucking find you. Like, why would you do this? And we can see that it fucking worked because he said stop trolling under that account. And then this guy, Cyclonus, who I have seen on Twitter multiple times involving Chris shit, said, "Oh hi, Noah is smelly." And we'll be looking at some of those tweets in a minute, seeing how he denied that it was him, but now he accepts that it's him and lets people know that these are his accounts. It's very weird that it's very weird how he's been acting with this. It seems like if he was just straight up a troll, he would have like a motive. If he was a white knight, he would be a little bit more cringier. He's very weird. If I had to say anything, I would say that he's like an attention seeker. He's someone into this just to get famous off of it, or just to get big off of it. He thinks this is gonna make people know who he is. That's my take on this, though. The knights. The other miscellaneous knights are a smorgasbord of random characters matching Chris's seemingly random views in regards to the dimensional merge in C197, as laid out in his insane ramblings, with the exception of Tito Dickman Baby, which is the one that got recycled. No two accounts are the same show, though all come from content oriented towards children, because that's probably what Chris Chan would know. All the accounts aim to convince Chris that they live in C197 are as of now, that he has 5 sock puppet accounts. I guarantee you there's more, we just haven't found more. There's probably more accounts, we just haven't found them yet, with the goal of attempting to convince Chris that they all worship him in the attempt to gain his trust, and to reframe that he is the CPU goddess. Yes, for those of you guys who didn't know, Chris Chan thinks he's a god. I've covered this shit, the Dimensional Merge videos and the God video that I just posted the other day. It goes further into Chris Chan's insanity. By playing characters and commenting on his and other Twitter posts, though, most of these sock puppets remain in disguise. And these are all the ats, and I'll be looking at that shit in a second. And we can see, actually, I think I might save that. If I can't find it, I'll go back to that. But we're going to look at these accounts. We're actually going to see what these accounts post, how they interact. I'm going to be showing you their response with the tweets and replies so you can actually see what they do. What was that? Bag that was swell. That's his first tweet for the Drew Pickles one. And then it immediately starts interacting with Chris Chan. Swell news indeed, Christine. God, I hate the Speakonia video so much. So it instantly starts interacting with Chris Chan. Second tweet it ever makes is related to Chris Chan. And he's responding all the Chris Chan's fucking posts every time. That's all this Drew Pickles account is doing. It's not interacting with anyone else, making it really obvious that it's a fucking sock puppet. God. My father offered to help me with the merge indeed. He even stated his old business back up to honor it. Started his old business back up to honor it. What the fuck? God, this is so stupid. This Drew Pickles account. This isn't even a clever account. Like, the fucking profile pic is just white in the background. No effort was put in that. And then here's a second one. I don't even know what this is fucking from. Let me see. Let me go up here. It's from Space Goofs. I don't know what the fuck a Space Goof even is. Go away, you troll. Stop trolling. How about you stop trolling? Stop making up words, troll. Trolls like you need to stop, said the troll. So this one is just trying to attack Chris Chan trolls. That's all it's doing. It's not even trying to interact with Chris. It's just trying to white knight him. And then this one does the same. Leave Christine alone. Stop trolling Christine. It's time to stop trolling Christine. Shut up, troll. That's all these accounts are doing, is just fucking defending Chris Chan. Let's see what else we've got here. This is someone noticing this shit. That carry account, the second one, says stop trolling, and then a fake Sonichu responds with hello white knight. So it's funny that the alt Sonichu account, which is just like his account, is calling him out for his shit. That's fucking hilarious. I love that shit. And then here's the tweets from the original carry account. We can see that it originally starts off as just a carry account, just a typical account. But then when it gets to March, that's when it starts interacting with Chris Chan. It started up in February, but then when it gets into March, that's when it starts interacting with Chris Chan. So I think that this might have all been created just for this account right here was made just to interact with Chris Chan. That's where I think this account came from. I don't think the Tito one was made just to interact with Chris Chan, but I think this one was. We can see that it actually tried to interact with Chris Chan just normally. It was actually talking to Chris Chan, just having casual conversations. It's not doing the whole, you're a white knight, you're a troll or whatever. God, made you a Pride Month pick? God. Quickville #1. Consider me a proud supporter of Quickville Gym. God. I'm a Pegasus sister now. Oh, fuck. What else is there here? I need to know. Is there anything else here? Here's where it starts saying you need to stop trolling, go away, troll. So by June, they all started fighting off trolls. Originally, they were just trying to interact with Chris, but for some reason, they became like a white knight trying to fight off trolls. I don't know why it took that turn. For like half of the year, it was fine, but now it's out to kill all trolls. We will not be trolled, it says, standing next to a horrible-looking Sonichu. God. I'm trying to find a video. I think my Twitter might be fucking up. This is it next to its pony Sona. I might have to refresh my Twitter so I can find this fucking video. Because they have a link for... they have like a screenshot for the video I was looking for. Here it is. They posted this video. And this video says, someone following me on Earth 1218 sent me a video showing how they used me to channel psychic powers. They used my picture and some music, and Flame began dancing to it. The merge is close. So they share this video trying to say that people are trying to channel their powers and that they know about it. And Chris Chan actually responds with, ooh wee, I reached that video and listened. I felt psychic powers from the source near the end, and I watched it twice to confirm the feeling still existed. Thank you for sharing this. So Chris Chan actually gave them the attention they wanted. Chris Chan actually acknowledged them. Senpai did notice them that time, and everyone gave them the response you expect from the internet. Go fuck yourself. I'm gonna kill myself. That the usual fucking responses you expect. And then we get this one where it's like, I'd love for you to retweet it to your followers, showing that it's just to gain attention. It's just to fucking gain attention. It's just to be noticed by people on the quickie and shit. And then it says, I want to help her. That's not trolling. You have officially been warned by the Knights. If you troll me, Chris Drew Pickles, Captain Feathersword, and into... Why would you list out all the names? That's easy how they can tell which accounts you run. That's probably how they figured it out. Again, you may be arrested after the merge. And then someone responded with, if you want to help Christine, you shouldn't have gotten involved in the first place, which is what I said earlier. You're a group that feed her delusions of the merge in an attempt to, what? Being noted on the quickie to tell your friends, especially trolled Chris. Yeah, you epically trolled Chris. That's why people keep calling them a ween. A ween is someone who tries to be a Chris Chan troll and fails at it. Or someone who tries to be a Chris Chan troll without realizing that you can't try, you have to just do. They don't understand it. And then we have this account, which is the Tito one that's been repurposed, and all it has is yet again, stop trolling. And this one's new, so it might do more shit in the next few days, but right now it hasn't done much. And finally, I'm gonna look at a couple tweets that this account made denying that it was Noah Smelly, because it's weird that Noah would deny it. It's weird. So we're gonna look at a couple of these where the accounts deny being Noah. He reacts to Chris Chan's latest post. Someone says, oh, look, it's Noah Smelly. This is June 28th. And he says, no, it's not. Noah made an account with this handle before I even joined. That's fucking retarded. You are not a different Carrie Kruger. Why would you just so coincidentally be interacting with Chris Chan? That's too coincidental. The account was suspended a few days before I signed up, and the Twitter must have given me the handle. No, it's Carrie Kruger 17. It's Noah. I reside in C197 and lead the Knights. Oh, that explains it. Good for you. I love people's responses to this shit. And then we have another one. Let me find the other one. This is from the Into Holino account. Someone says, who is Noah? Well, let me get up to the top. Someone responds to this photo of Chris Chan's mom, and it says, come and fuck mommy on the bed, Chris. And then Carrie responds with, stop trolling. And then Cyclone says, oh, hi, Noah is Smelly, that's the one that got featured on the quickie. And then someone responds with, who is Noah is Smelly? And then Into, I don't fucking care. It's an alien. Who fucking cares how I say its name? Not any of us. It's just a rumor. So he's trying to say that he's not Noah and that it's just rumors that are being spread around, even though we obviously know that it is Noah. So yeah, that was everything you need to know about this Noah person. This is their current main account. They have a Noah account, but they abandoned it a while ago. So if you try to go to the Noah account, it gets you nowhere. It really is just a dead end. Hey everyone, Dylan here. Now today we are going to be doing another quickie discussion. Now today's quickie discussion is the start of a brand new series, and that series is the Chris Chan White Knight series. Now this is going to be the exact opposite of the Chris Chan Troll series. We are going to be looking at people who defend Chris online instead of insulting him. Now to start this off, we have Kenneth Irwin Englehart. Now, I put his name through text-to-speech, so I'm 100% sure I'm saying it correctly. I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to do better because I keep fucking up words. Why do you reply to everything? And do you have a crush on me, Ken? These are words from Chris to Kingle, and apparently that's one of his nicknames. Kenneth Irwin Englehart, born on the 2nd of March 1960, affectionately nicknamed Kingle by Christorians, is one of Chris's Facebook White Knights. As an overweight, inept, autistic, middle-aged rich part-time bookkeeper and an accountant with a penchant for creating bizarre artwork, Kingle naturally feels as though he shares a lot in common with Chris, except for Chris is unemployed, so that means you're actually more successful than Chris. Kingle is also notable for being one of the 2 confirmed genuine fans of Sonichu. I feel incredibly bad for him. During the comics run, another being Sonic Chu is cool. We'll have to look at him eventually if he's on the White Knights list as well. Relationship with Chris. Kingle's intentions towards Chris seems entirely true and honest. Kenneth will often give praise to Chris when he feels there is justification in doing so. A notable example of this was when he was praising Chris Chan on some of his artwork of a medallion, having an opinion on a video game, and breathing in and out. That being said, he'll occasionally make what appears to be a subtle jab at Chris, which is usually an indication that he's going to turn into a troll in the future, but I don't think that happened with this man. And outright call him out, which is weird because usually White Knights don't do that until they turn on him, when he's clearly in the wrong. In particular, over the events of December 26, 2014. Kenneth is well known for his artwork of Sonichu and Rosachu. The website no longer exists. I'll redirect you to it real quick. It has apparently been taken over by some weird Asian company. Either a troll did this to his website or his domain just got sold and repurposed. I have no clue. While he was initially rejected as a troll by Chris, this is no longer the case, and they have been Facebook friends for quite a while. Kenneth remains the only person on record to have made a Sonichu derivative website. Occasionally, he does post on Chris's Facebook statuses. There is some debate on whether Kenneth can be considered a member of Chris's inner circle on Facebook, as they do have a number of mutual friends, the most notable being William Elliott Waterman, and I might do a video on him in the future, but Kenneth is oftenly flat out ignored and is sometimes treated contemptuously by Chris. Despite being known as a lolcow amongst lolcow enthusiasts, by and large, he is actually quite well liked on Facebook. Kenneth has also hosted anti-bullying forums in the past on Sonichu.org and spurgweb.com. I can't believe that's an actual website. Technical issues caused by his unfamiliarity with the forum design and trolling forced these off the internet. While Chris did express interest in his idea of making a fan site, this did not materialize due to Kenneth's unfamiliarity with Dreamweaver. Kingle has also bought several of Chris's eBay items, like a lot of White Knights and trolls tend to do, and sent him some sardines after Chris's house burned down. Kingle is considered a lolcow in his own right, in part due to his bizarre Sonichu fan comic, Sonichin. And I actually think I have heard of that, and I think I did read it at one point. If it still exists out there somewhere, I'll try to find it and see if we can look over that one day. I think it's all but gone. I'll have to look for it. It is not known what Chris thinks of this parody, but according to Kenneth himself, Chris takes a neutral stance. Ken once bought a Sonic the Hedgehog comic book. The problem is that it contained a preview for Sonic Boom at the start, which particularly got Chris hot-headed. Although Kingle is classified as a lolcow in his own right, in part due to his bizarre artwork and websites, he is considered more of a borderline low-grade cow compared to more infamous lolcows on the forum. It was recently noted that Kenneth's Sonichin and Rosachin website was dismantled and rebuilt as a general website to exhibit his artwork. As of November 2016, the website is a blog where Kenneth posts, among other things, progress and updates on Sonichin and Rosachin, meaning the comic has returned. And I think it's gone now because we saw the website a second ago and it is just some weird Asian website. Relationship with the trolls. Kingle was temporarily banned from the Kiwi farms because he seemed to not comprehend that there are mean people on the internet, and instead believed that everyone is genuinely interested in Chris as a cool, famous internet dude who everyone wants to befriend. Eventually accepting the fact that such people existed, Kingle has decided to go on an online crusade against them. In 2017, he started kiwifarms.xyz, a blog in which he writes angry posts about PMERT and other topics, in a bid to divert attention away from the real Kiwi Farms to himself. Needless to say, he has yet to succeed in doing so. A thread on the farms has been made specifically about Kingle, and it has ballooned to hundreds of pages and counting. In many ways, Kingle is the Rosachu to Chris's Sonichu, a useless borderline NPC character who shows up occasionally to be mildly annoying. He can't win Chris. On May 2nd, 2018, Chris listed a spare Sonichu license plate on eBay. Since license plates may be considered DMV property, Kingle asked Chris if he had got permission to sell it from the DMV, which prompted Chris to ask him to stop, which Kingle agreed. 2 days later, on May 4th, 2018, somebody suggested to Chris that his donations dropping could be due to Patreon taking a 50% cut, which Kingle said was outrageous. This prompted Chris to call Kingle outrageous and tell him to not comment on his post anymore, or Chris would unfriend him. But he told Kingle that he is still allowed to donate to Chris's Patreon. Oh, how nice of him. You're still allowed to give me money if he chooses. Kingle, having finally had enough, told Chris that friendships don't work like that, and then said goodbye, suggesting that he was done with Chris. Not too long after this, Kingle replied to Chris's tweet begging for money. Have you considered a project manager? They can help you with work layout, publicity, the bottom line, and so forth. Chris replied, if I had even remotely knew of such a manager years ago, I seriously would have done that sooner. Yup. And that's all I have to say about Kenneth Irwin Englehart. He is a Chris Chan White Knight. He tried to befriend Chris, and just like most people Chris Chan interacts with in life, Chris tried to use him, and then when he was done with him and tired of him, he threw him away. Hello everybody, Dylan here today, and we are going to be reading a quickie article. Today's quickie discussion will be on Jacob Sockness. This will be a part of the White Knight series, so hopefully you guys are ready for this. Jacob Sockness. Only if he has lost weight in that belly. I think he meant only if he had lost weight in that belly. I don't know why he put has. His profile banner is most unsettling to me, and that's Chris talking about Sockness. Jacob Sockness is a 36-year-old white knight and fanatic of Chris from San Francisco, California, because of course only the worst garbage comes out of California. Besides showering praise that would make even Kingle blush, Sockness stands out from other white knights by expressing love and sexual attraction towards him. And yes, he does actually want to fuck Chris, and it's pretty creepy. Outside of displaying his unhealthy attraction towards Chris, he is known to be an obsessive cultist, posting various tweets and other messages regarding supernatural and even sharing Chris's beliefs in that Sonichu is real. And yes, he is in this whole dimensional merge shit, so yet again, if you want to get caught up on the merge, watch my videos talking about the merge shit. It's stupid. Like Chris, he harbors delusions of godhood, even claiming himself to be the Hindu elephant god Ganesha, and calling Chris the Lord Vishnu. I got that one right. While many have pretended to belong to Chris's abortive personality cult, Jacob appears to be the first true and honest believer in the dimensional merge after Chris. Sockness occasionally comments on Chris's tweets to court him to support his delusions, and I'm actually on Twitter, and this fucking weirdo has tweeted at me before, and I ignore him every time. Never responded to a single one of his fucking tweets. However, most of his activities are based on his Twitter page, where he would make frequent and more graphic messages on his love for Chris, even inviting Chris to visit him, which is weird, and I hope Chris never takes him up on that offer. He is also known to spread his messages to other forums, most notably Reddit and Kiwi Farms. If you are a weirdo like this, you really shouldn't be going on Kiwi Farms, because they're going to fucking dox you. Occasionally, he would make videos dedicated to Chris on his YouTube account, which I'm not going to, and I think it's dead now. Jacob has already appropriated Sonichu characters in his self-made pantheon of Pagan. What the fuck is that? Extraterrestrial spirits in the mid of 2019. He gained Chris's favor as the two agreed to work together in working around Chris's June 2019 ban from eBay. So apparently he's going to help Chris sell shit on eBay because eBay keeps banning Chris because Chris doesn't actually deliver on his shit. I don't remember if I made a video on Chris's eBay, but if I did, you should check that out. I don't remember if I did. Jacob was discovered by pure chance by Kiwi Farms user Neutral. Oh, I guess that's their name. While observing the many users around Chris's Twitter post. After further digging, it was revealed that he also created a Kiwi Farms account under the name JacobJS. It was in his profile page where he accidentally doxed himself. Wow, what a fucking retard. By posting links to his Facebook page and his Tumblr blogs that reveal his personal information. Like his polar opposite Michael Hertz, he is also a furry and lives in Section 8 housing with a tugboat. I am not even shocked that these mentally disabled people like Chris Chan. They probably see him as an idol. However, unlike Chris and Hertz, Jacob is a dedicated P-Mert supporter, which is Trump. Chris doesn't want to say Trump, so he actually says P-Mert. It's Trump in reverse because Chris is fucking retarded. And here's to some far-right views. Unlike the idea guys who would fill Chris's mind with such themes just for their own amusement, Jacob seems to be genuine. Sockness also controls several different sock puppet accounts to white knight himself and converse with who he claims are different people. So the guy with the name Sockness makes sock puppet accounts. What fucking coincidence that is. While it is true that some of Chris's most die-hard white knights are exposed as trolls, Jacob initially showed no hatred or amusement from Chris's activities. Rather, he displayed legitimate sense of love towards him. Evidence suggests that besides finding a kindred spirit in a supernatural believer, he is also sexually attracted to transgender people. Ironically, despite Sockness' desire to father a child with Chris, he is unaware that Chris is already in a polyamorous marriage and ended his love quest. And I did a video on that one. That's in the Sweetheart Search video. I talk about how Chris is with Magi-Chan and Mewtwo and some other fucking character he made up. Despite declaring his love to Chris, some evidence suggests that his feelings are not true and honest. In his Reddit account, Jacob had lurked around subreddits for incels, flirting with them. In his Twitter page, besides tweeting about arcane rituals and complaining about liberals like any neckbeard does on the internet, Jacob expresses his close love between a... His close love between a sugar daddy suggests that he is in a gay relationship with an older and wealthier man. I actually have evidence to that one. I have a little bit of evidence that's not actually shown on here. So for those of you guys who are already creeped out, shield your eyes because I'm going to show you the photo of him with an old guy. This is him with an old man. I don't know if this is photoshopped, but it looks genuine to me. And he says, "Sweet Jabali Tishra, King of Equestria, third eye power linked to Equestria." So he's mentioning a bunch of My Little Pony shit. But yeah, that's proof that he actually might be into that, unless he's really good at Photoshop. Jacob has been known to flip-flop his opinion on Chris, ranging from sexual love to outright cursing him. It is unclear whether or not he is doing this for attention, genuine attraction to Chris, or both. When Chris allowed Jacob to access his Twitter account on July 11, 2019, that's this year, he boasted about it on Reddit, and even claimed that his Chris Kink account was an act. And here's the proof to that. He actually does say that he'll go back to his Chris Kink act right here. I'll go back into my Chris Kink act. It is not two-way yet. What I need is an easy... What I need isn't easy for him to do, since he's been tasked with making CPU Blue Heart Holy Water. So yeah, he was saying that he'll go back to pretending to be that guy. So some of him might be exaggerated, but who knows? Who really knows? He's a fucking weirdo either way. And if you do choose to go on his Twitter account, I'm warning you now that he does have nudes of himself on his Twitter. So if you go on his Twitter account looking at his shit, chances are you are going to see his dick. So you might want to stay away from his Twitter and just get all your information from either this article, his Kiwi Farms page, or me, because you don't want to see that shit, trust me. Interactions with Chris. The sacred shoes have samples of cat and doggy DNA. Looking for the treasures of heaven, a single hair from Christine's head to put in an amulet of serious power to manifest one's dreams. This is a divine experience. That's a quote from Sockness. Sockness has spent hundreds of dollars buying items from Chris's eBays, notably buying his old shoes for worshiping purposes. And when I talked about some idiot buying Chris's shoes and then Chris wasting that money on Pokeballs, this is the guy who bought the shoes. Eventually, Jacob got too retarded for even Chris to handle. Chris blocked him on Twitter January 31st, 2019. By May 22nd, 2019, Jacob's YouTube channel had been terminated, and his Twitter account seemed to have disappeared. So if you're going to be following this man, you might want to archive his shit, because chances are it's going to repeatedly disappear. And we'll watch this video in a minute. I have other stuff I want to talk about. Still, this would not be the end of Sockness's involvement with Chris. He would create a new Twitter account named Chris Kink on the 11th of July 2019, while Chris was trying to raise funds to pay for a hotel room at the 2019 BronyCon, which is about to happen, by the way. Troll Sonichu Merch told Chris that Sockness might be interested in buying bathwater, as a reference to the gamer girl bathwater meme that's going around. Chris saw dollar signs and followed Sockness, so Chris is trying to use this man for money. The Sonichu merch guy told Chris I was interested in buying some bathwater. The guy doesn't know I have no money to buy it due to issues with Social Security in May. Even if I had the money, Chris has to follow some exact rules to creating what I need from him. That's terrifying. I need him to make and bless some holy water with his juices in it. That is Sockness apparently talking about the holy water he wants from Chris. After establishing direct communication with Chris on July 14th, which is still happening this year, this month, Sockness tweeted that he would open a vendor account on eBay for Chris, acting as a warehouse and a clearinghouse and a middleman. Chris responded with gratitude. The next day, Chris retweeted a GoFundMe campaign by Sockness to raise $300 nominally as a shipping fund. And that is all the stuff on this article about Sockness, but something that this article didn't mention, because it is volunteers on the Quickie, you can't expect them to have everything. I picked up their Slack and I'm going to show you some shit that they didn't mention. Sockness is obsessed with Chris, to the point where he's making a Chris Chan sex doll. This is it, by the way. It has several different masks it wears sometimes. It has a Chris Chan striped shirt, a Sonichu medallion, and a pair of pants, but it's not jeans because he wants it to be soft enough to cuddle with. And he doesn't just have this doll, though. He's actually a Chris Chan cosplayer. This is him at a gay pride event dressed up as Chris Chan. This is him at the same event posing next to a Give Love Take Pride thing. You can actually see a little bit of how fucked up his teeth are. You can see that he's wearing the shoes he bought from Chris Chan, which fuels into my theory of, I think he wants to get shit from Chris Chan because he wants to be Chris Chan. He worshipped Chris Chan to the point to where he wants to become Chris. He has a similar hairdo to Chris, he has a similar shirt to Chris, and now he actually has Chris's shoes, which is just one step further in his transformation. I don't know what his medallion is made out of, though, but I don't think that was made by Chris. And this is him doing Chris's pose, imitating Chris, one for one. He is literally trying to look like Chris, and he's wearing Chris's shoes in that photo. And then this is him from the front, and looking at his medallion, that doesn't look like an official Chris Chan Sonichu medallion. So I don't think he actually has a real Sonichu medallion yet. And that was everything you need to know about Jacob Sockness. Hey guys, Dylan here, and today we are going to be doing a quickie discussion. Today's quickie discussion is a long-awaited one on DStex, so let's get into this today on DHT. DStex is a Canadian YouTube personality who donated $1,000 to Chris in September 2015. Now, DStex is actually someone who is one of the major factors for me getting into Chris Chan. I actually really did like his bad reviews and followed it until the end of it. Like, I started watching it in 2014 and then watched every new episode as it came out until it ended. So I really do have kind of an attachment to this article and this person in particular. He gave the money through a listing on Chris's Etsy shop. So Chris was obligated to produce 100 pages of the Sonichu comic in exchange, although he failed to do so, which is not shocking. I don't know if Chris has reached that amount now. This article is majorly out of date and needs to be updated because it says that Chris quit updating the comic at a certain date, which is false. He does currently update it, but not too often. So just know he has updated it, but still not as often as he should. Chris reached the milestone in laziness on the 8th of March by going through 500 days without working on the comic. Eventually ended the hiatus 2 months later after 561 days through no involvement from D-Stacks. Okay, let me pull up the quickie and we'll see how long it's been. It has been 28 days since he uploaded a comic. Okay, 28 days since he updated the comic. And up here we can see a picture of D-Stacks, names Daniel Steckley, also known as D-Stacks, and that's all you need to know. Bad reviews on Sonichu. D-Stacks had been following Chris for years and has accounts on both the Quickie, joined February 2010 with a lengthy list of edits ending in June 2015, and Kiwi Farm joined May 2013. He first reviewed Sonichu on his Bad Reviews YouTube channel in September 2010 and would make more episodes on it over the next 5 years. On December 2015, he uploaded the last of his reviews on Sonichu, having reached the end of Chris's comic output. Donation. On September 2015, one day after Chris returned to Sonichu 11 by uploading 11 pages to his Facebook, D-Stacks donated 1,000 USD through a donation listing in which Chris had advertised that for every $10 donated, he would make a page for Sonichu 11. D-Stacks discussed this below in the video at 20:30, and I might play that at the end of this, but let's keep reading for now. D-Stacks left a comment for Chris. Hello, Christine. My name is Daniel Steckley, and you don't know me, but I have been a follower of yours for some time now. What a fucking ween thing to say. For the past 5 years, I have been reviewing Sonichu on YouTube, and amassed a small following. He'd probably consider himself an influencer. You could call me a troll of yours. I wouldn't. But as the years have gone on, I have had mixed feelings about your whole deal, and then it cuts off, so I'm gonna stop right there. Chris had this to say to his remarkable generosity. Thank you! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. I tell you what. I'll tell you what. It's I tell you what. I tell you what. Not only will I draw you look like Seth Rogen, by the way, which no he doesn't, and put your name in this and the next book, but I will make and send you a set of 8 amiibo figures of the main Sonichu cast: Sonichu, Rosachu, Blake, Wild, Bubbles, Angelica, Punchy, and Magichan, and a Sonichu medallion, and the quick 3-piece amiibo set, me, past me, and present versions. And the Chris Chan Sonichu. Wait, what? And Chris Chan Sonichu. Okay, so I guess those are the 3 amiibos he's sending. The project will take up to 8 weeks to get the figures required and put them together. 8 weeks? Really? 2 months? What? That's fucking crazy. And I will uphold my promise / pledge for 100 pages of the donation at will. So he fucking says right there he will do the 100 pages. That's straight up said by Chris. So when this article says later that there was no stipulations, there was stipulations. Chris even knew them. He admits them right there. And from that, while everyone gets a character drawing, you've given me the idea to do like PBS and offer you a gift for each increment of donation. I will update the listing with these details later today or tomorrow. I need to make the print back cards for each character, including my 3 characters, before I can make each amiibo figure listing, as well as take a few photographs. Also, here's a little Sonichu trivia for you to share. Oh god, Chris, you just had to be stupid at the end. Free one-time bonus for you. Which 2 characters did Christine Chandler have to repose for an amiibo figures? Who would know that compared to the original prototype set? Answer: Blake and Punchy Sonichu. Who would care? And I will give personal permission to review these figures in a video after you receive them. He would do it anyway if he wanted to. I will draw today or tomorrow and mail the drawing to you after this weekend. Again, thank you so much for your generous donation. Have a great and safe day. That's not a terrible response. That's a decent response, saying I'll do what you paid me for and I'll give you a little bit of extra shit. So I don't really hate Chris Chan for that. I just don't agree with D-Stex donating so much money to someone like Chris. D-Stex commented about his donation on Kiwi Farms, which is a terrible idea, but okay. The Patreon contributed about $300, and about $900 came out of my own bank account, so he wasted $900 on Chris Chan, $900 of his own money. The numbers don't add up to 1,000 because of Canada to USD exchange rates, which is right. On November 16th, D-Stex received his medallion and amiibos from Chris. I finally received them in the mail. Chris promised me them for the donation. I'm going to be doing a proper video with them, which is the Christmas one, at Chris' request, but first impressions, a bunch of them had bits broken off of them in the box, which is a reoccurring thing if you saw the video we did on Chris's eBay. But the package arrived, beat the shit, so could easily have occurred during shipping. I doubt it was the shipping. Chris probably just had a dented box and then put them in the dented box, and then they broke because Chris didn't put them together right. Also, all of them except for Sonichu and Blackchu have a number 1 on the bottom. Sonichu has 43 and Blackchu has 16. IIRC. And so, unless Chris numbers like a programmer, I'm pretty sure nobody has even bought any of these amiibos except for Sonichu and Blackchu. Well, Sonichu and Blackchu are really popular characters, and no one really gives a shit about the rest of the characters, so you're probably right on that one. I'll give you that, D-Stex. He displayed them in Bad Reviews 32, a Sonichu Christmas. I was right on that. Motives and criticism. D-Stex seemed to have some remorse from gaining popularity to his YouTube channel as a result of mocking Chris's comic, saying, I can't take back what I've done, but one specific way I can, to explain why he was personally financing the continuation of Sonichu 11. This is after he got Trolls Remorse. He got heavy Trolls Remorse and decided that continuing Sonichu would be a good way to pay off the sins that he had committed by daring to have a sense of humor. He also seemed to want to end his association with Sonichu on a high note, as he said that due to being the executive producer of Sonichu, he would be unable to review Sonichu 11 without violation of ethics, which is retarded. I don't know why he would ever say that. Although he would betray this point only a few months later. And he justified that as some of it was done beforehand, so I guess then it would still be part of the original run, but who fucking cares. D-Stex also gained criticism for his inability to review the comic without stating his own personal beliefs and political views, which the political view thing is still going on. Check out his Twitter. He's like an actual proper SJW now. It's amazing. As he called out both trolls and others for their motives, such as calling Asperchu the biggest attack on Chris due to the comic itself being attacked, and believing that Leary deserves some backlash despite it being a parody. He stated that he was ashamed of his generation due to Gamergate and used Anita Sarkeesian footage to prove a feminist point. And he did speed up the clip, so it wasn't too terrible. But the funny thing is, he's actually really similar to, and he did it before him, Quentin Reviews. Quentin Reviews is another man who would review old media, and then through his journey on YouTube, he decided that he was too mean and that he was an influencer who needed to promote positive ideas. So then he started attacking other people and calling out toxicity. It's weird how similar his story is to Quentin Reviews, and he kind of acts like Quentin Reviews now. He's also a bigger man like Quentin Reviews, and was known for having a beard. So it's weird how similar these two are. His donation is controversial with Christorians, as some believe that he honestly wanted Sonic 211 to continue and was naive about Chris's laziness. Others argued that this weenish move validated begging in Chris's eyes, which the begging videos would increase after this, and they still go on. So yes, I do think this validated begging in Chris's eyes. And I have told my audience numerous times, don't donate to Chris. Don't give Chris money. He'll dox you. He'll not use the money for what it was intended to begin with, and then he'll just ask for more shit. There's no point in giving him money. Arthur Spatchcock, in the following year, commented about his opinion on D-Stex and the donation. Arthur Spatchcock is someone who interviewed Chris before. He's actually decently known in the Chris community. I've brought this up in previous conversations, but I think D-Stex is inadvertently a master troll without truly realizing it. He gave Chris the $1,000 with no actual stipulations associated with it. No, I disagree with that, because Chris knew that it was for the comic pages. D-Stex didn't say you had to do it, but Chris knew it. He admitted it himself. He said in the message to D-Stex what he was gonna get for the money. So Chris knew what he was supposed to do. In Chris's mind, that adds up to a gift. No, it didn't, because Chris actually did see it as for what it was meant to be, and he did try to give most of what he offered, so I disagree with this. And he was in no way required to do anything remotely Sonic 2 related with a dime of it. Now Chris has a very real concept that his fans are willing to make obnoxious donations at the drop of a hat. He does think that now, so you're right on that. I'll give you that. While ostensibly for a good cause, D-Stex overly generous donation ultimately had little effect on Chris's finances, which is why I keep telling people, unless you've got like $30,000 sitting on the floor, you aren't going to be able to help Chris in his finance problems. Your $200 ain't going to do shit, and he's going to waste it on toys, nor his habits regarding money in general. D-Stex is sometimes used by commentators as an example of wienery and white knighting at its most insane, with copycats attempting to pay Chris large sums of money to have him perform or provide their liking, only to have very little, if anything, in return, which is true with the Teen Troons. It always ends badly for the people giving him money. Don't give Chris money. You will be doxxed, and you will have a lot of trouble come from it. Just don't give him money. Outcome: Chris predictably failed to deliver on his end of the deal for the comics, delivering only 16 pages of the 100 promise. Now, I don't know if this is up to date. I don't know if this is a true fact. I think the comic is done now, the one that he was supposed to upload. This article is outdated, so I don't know if that's 100% true. His last upload for Sonic 211 was October 2015, so yeah, I don't think that's true. I think that's outdated information. It is unknown if D-Stex discussed the matter any further with Chris. As for D-Stex, he went back on his word to not review Sonic 2 any further by uploading a video reviewing Sonic 211 on December the 24th. He claimed that there were some remaining Sonic 2 I did not finance, and thus the review can still go on without violating journalistic ethics. However, that was a lie, as the review contained 16 pages Chris had uploaded after being paid by D-Stex, and he needed to review those pages, or else the story would make no fucking sense. So he did go back on his word. He should have just not reviewed it. Arthur Spatchcock later spoke with Chris about the donation and learned that he had bought a bed with it, and I'll show you that bed in a second. One of Chris's more practical purchases, but this did nothing to advance the comic. And here's his statement. Also, for everyone who wonders what Chris did with the $1,000 from D-Stex, he was surprisingly responsible with it. He actually bought a bed with it, a $600 one at that. Some of it went towards bills even. But why a bed, you ask? Because Barb and Chris had been sharing a bed after the fire, and she got mad with him one night for him spooning incorrectly. So Chris and his mom had been sharing a bed for years, and apparently she was getting mad at him because he couldn't lay down correctly. So that's why he had to get a bed. And I'll show you that that bed right now. And this is Chris Chan fucking a blow-up doll on the bed that D-Stex paid for. So, the money is being spent well, D-Stex. It's spent well. Chris is fucking on the bed you bought him. This is what happens when you give Chris money. In the comic, D-Stex appears as Danny Steckel in Sonichu 12 in a set of panels drawn in June 2017 at Quickville's SLGBTQ, which is LGBTQ but with Sonichu Pride Festival. Danny is greeted by Angelica, who thanks him for the generous donation to the soup hotels, mentioning that the new beds and foods were acquired by the funds. So a new bed did go to a homeless person, but that was Chris, not the other made-up people. Below are screenshots of the donation, which D-Stex had, including his announcement video. So I'll show you the photo more up close of him from the comic. Apparently that's what Chris thinks Seth Rogen looks like, and D-Stex is a Q-tip compared to Angelica. That was D-Stex. Hello everybody, Dylan here. Now today we are going to be doing a quickie discussion. Today's quickie discussion is going to be continuing on the White Knight series. Today we are going to be talking about the White Knights Sarah and Steve. And we start this off with a quote from them. Christine is a goddess. Sarah and Steve voicing their religious beliefs. Sarah and Steve are failed weens, which weens are people who want to be known in the Christian community. They're fucking losers, who appeared in February 2019, yet again a very recent one. Originally, they made a big show of playing themselves up as fans of Chris. On February 27, 2019, they tweeted to him asking permission to make a Rose Chew medallion, which Chris approved. Also mentioning that he has met them in real life. To win him over, they gifted him a Nintendo Switch and $100 in Patreon money, which is a good way to win over Chris, giving him shit, but it never lasts. Claimed to want to move to be near Chris and have indulged in his goddess fantasies. In the unboxing video of the Switch that Chris made, Chris displays a letter from Sarah and Steve stating that Sarah and Steve plan to move to Virginia, that Chris would be their only friend. That's fucking stupid. If you had one person to be your friend, why would you pick Chris? Sarah and Steve explicitly stated in the letter that it was to be a secret, and Chris immediately showed it anyway because he's Chris. The pair also attempted to control his contacts, claiming to have benign intentions. And let's take a look at this note that Sarah and Steve gave Chris that he immediately showed everyone. It says, "I'd like us to become best friends over time. Do not read what's I guess I'll play that video clip. I'll play that video clip at the end of this video instead of reading the whole letter, because there's a lot more here to cover. Remember, if you are ever in trouble or need help before we're able to move, just message us first. I'm afraid other people could not be very trusted." They are sounding very similar to Noel, the guy who runs Kiwi Farms and who loves Chris Chan. Let's take a look at some of these screenshots that are here. This one has Sarah and Steven, and we can actually see their eyes. We can see both of their eyes right there. That's as close to a face reveal as we get with those two. With Christine's blessing, we would like to make a Rose Chew medallion for our own personal wearage only. Is it okay? And then Chris approves. He says, "Yes, you may, and I will be happy to sign it for y'all when we meet. Use crazy glue and dishwasher safe Mod Podge to ensure its extended life with little to no fragility." Which Chris's shit is still fragile. It falls apart constantly. We know that from his fucking stuff he would sell on eBay. I must say, CWC's style is such a superb look. Steven, and this is like the 5th fucking idiot I've seen dressed like Chris Chan this week. I'm actively losing faith in humanity. We can't see his face because thankfully he blurred it, so I don't know what this supreme individual looks like. This is their pledge on Patreon, and proudly supporting the one and only true CWC on Patreon. Looking forward to the autographed Sonichu comics and hopefully personal video requests to be fulfilled. You got the comics. I see you having the comics right there. These should have been ordered differently, but whatever. And then this is their pledge right there. So yeah. Wait, what? It got pulled. They pulled their pledge? Why? Huh. They pledged to him and then they pulled the pledge later. Weird. Why would they do that? Let's find out. After Nintendo Switch and the letter reveal, their Twitter feed went on hiatus for about a month. That's understandable. Chris did just dox you guys. And they even pulled their Patreon funding from Chris. Oh, because he showed their name, they took the money back, the $100. Damn. However, Twitter activity soon resumed. They changed their Twitter bio from "We love anime, traveling, and sonotube" to "Devout believers of Christine Weston Chandler's prophecy, soon dedicating our future to her well-being and spreading the true message. Fire, heart, fire." Unlike Chris's lightning bolt, heart, lightning bolt. And this is another fucking idiot that's buying into this whole fucking dimensional merge shit. Is this like a disease? Is this like a new form of AIDS? It's just spreading? Like fucking retards are just catching the Christine virus? Between the 21st and the 22nd of May 2019, a set of DMs between the Quickie editor Jazzmar and the Sarah and Steven account was posted. In them, Sarah and Steven claimed to be helping Chris by giving him gifts. That's not helping him. That's enabling him. He needs like actual help to pay his bills and shit. He doesn't need toys. Don't give him more toys. He already wastes his money on toys. And it's thanks to these idiots giving him a Switch, he just bought more shit for the Switch. And playing with them and discussed their plans to move and be near him. And has set up a whole website for him to express his prophecy. Dear God, this is getting very close to an actual cult. They also mentioned they convinced Chris he should be They also mentioned they convinced Chris he should only trust them and not others as the guard dogs. What the fuck? Noel is already watching over Chris, so why would you try to fucking squeeze in and take Noel's spot? Let's take a look at these Twitter DMs. I want to see them. I wouldn't consider myself a white knight, by the way. I would consider you a white knight. I'm just someone who plans on helping Christine, that's all. I have literally nothing to benefit from doing this. Yes, you do. You have plenty to benefit. You get E-rep. Other than negative attention online. If it makes you feel better, I will be making videos and running a site for Christine. I haven't seen that site. Once I've moved, and everyone will see and know who I am. Okay, that contradicts what you just said a second ago, that you have nothing to gain. No mask, no hiding my identity. People are wrong in what they think is the best for Christine. Well, I don't think you know what's best for him, you're just babying him. I believe allowing Christine to invest in things she is interested in / doing. Why don't you just adopt a child instead of adopting a fat retard? With her will make her happy. Also, Christine will probably never be able to hold an actual job. That's probably true. It's ridiculous how so many people demonize her over that. Well, they demonize Chris over it because he keeps begging for money when he could do other things to get money. That's their mindset. Nobody goes decades without holding a job just by being lazy. Actually, they do all the time. People do that a lot, especially when they're involved on the internet. Something would have been impairing them. She has autism. People with autism have jobs. People with autism have careers. Having autism is not an excuse, especially high-functioning autism. No matter how high-functioning it is, shut the fuck up. She has a different mindset than a majority of people. Yeah, she's retarded. And it's not making excuses, and I'm not making excuses for her. It's just the reality of what this is. With us there, she will have some legit friends who aren't around just to make fun of her and stalk her. You are stalking her. We'll see more of that in a bit. And will help her out if she needs it. I am currently one of her Patreons, $100 per month. It's the least I could do for now. And you know what? I think that's what we need. We don't need any more of this. It's probably just more stupid fucking shit. We got their intentions from that DM thread alone. Let's read this one. Maybe this one will be more interesting. Christine is a goddess. I don't care about being known by them. I know it will bring me nothing but negativity. But you said earlier you will let people know who you are. But I also know there's no way being a part of Christine's life without that. Yeah, that's 100% true. And that's good advice for any of you guys out there. If you want to get involved in Christian, you probably will be doxxed and you will be hated. and I've accepted that fact already. Right now, I'm just saving up the money I need before we go. It's undeniable that sites like Kiwi Farms are harmful to Christine, but they're the only reason why people know who Christine is, and the only reason why people give money to Chris is because they know who he is. They claim to be concerned / give valid criticisms, but they're all wrapped up in an unrealistic / well, fucking Noel, the head of Kiwi Farms, fucking helped Chris out when he was being fucking blackmailed by the idea guys. Where the fuck were you during that? Oh wait, you were nowhere around during that. You have no fucking clue the shit that goes on with Chris Chan and the help that Kiwi Farms have actually given him throughout the years, so shut the fuck up. They're all trolls themselves. Like I said, I'll be doxing myself, and I can't wait to see your face. I'll change the thumbnail when you do dox yourself. It's not really dangerous to be infamous online though. You typically aren't going to be killed or anything. Guys like DSP prove that. Well, some people are killed over the internet, but I'm sure you're fine. Chris Chan's shit isn't actually dangerous. On the 26th of May 2019, Sarah and Steve contemplated canceling their plans on Chris. They changed their Twitter bio to read, "Just a couple idiots who assumed they could help Christine. Swindled out of $100. You weren't swindled. You weren't swindled, you fucking dumb idiots. You donated that money. You donated that money. When you give money to Chris Chan, you already know how stupid you are. Don't say you were swindled. Chris didn't fucking con you into giving him that money. You were stupid enough to give it to him, and we were treated as subhuman. Fuck off. Everyone already knows who Chris Chan is, and you're just stupid enough to not read Kiwi Farms. Shoulda listened to the warnings that were given, of course." They tweeted to now I'm catching it too. They tweeted to Chris, "Message unknown as their account is private." And Chris responded with, "That is not so. I do want y'all's help, and y'all are my friends. Please do not cancel your plans." This is how Chris always was, with all the fucking fake girlfriends, all the fake friends that tried to help him. He would always do this shit. Chris will always disappoint you, he will always lie to you, and he will always use you. We have seen this happen for over a decade. Quit being gullible enough to fall for his shit. On the phone, Christine sounded like, this is apparently what they told Jasmar about Chris. On the phone, Christine sounded like she very much wanted my help, and was looking forward to us hanging out again, but her actions say otherwise. For example, being left unseen for 5 days in a row, while she posts and responds to other people about the dimension stuff. That's Chris. If you try to help Chris, he'll fucking ignore you. Meanwhile, when he's on his stupidity, he'll fuck around with trolls and have goofs on the internet. He doesn't care about you. He'll never care about you. That's who Chris is. It just feels very off-putting and is confusing, and it's not like I expected much. Yes, you did. You expected way too much. And just a simple response every couple days at least. It's a bad sign of what's to come if I actually do relocate, to potentially be shunned for weeks on end. Yes, that's exactly what everyone told you would happen, because she's busy in Quickville or something. Yeah, that's Chris. It's saddening. I really do value my friendship with Christine. They changed their Twitter bio again to a crying emoji. Ooh, fucking bitch. They tweeted, "Confused, sad face." Chris responded within the next day, 18 hours later, "Please don't be confused. I like you kindly, and I do care about y'all. Give me more money." Less than an hour later, Sarah and Steve replied with, "Okay, Christine, I turn my phone back on. Okay, Christine, I will turn my phone back on soon. You have had many chances to respond to me here on Twitter through the DMs and have chosen not to. Because it's Chris, he will ignore you. That's expected." They later tweeted, "Okay, Christine, I believe that you truly do want to be our friend, but if you could, please do not leave us on scene for a week straight. You're expecting too much, and I know that you're busy in Quickville and all, but really, we need, we make time for you. Please do the same for us." No, you're expecting far too much from Chris. And these are their edited bios. You can see right there, fucking morons. What is this? Chris isn't replying to their tweets. They feel shunned. Oh, okay. So this is, these are the things I just read. So they're not important. These are just the proof to everything I just read. And these are some leaked screenshots. Wait, leaked screenshots of their Twitter? It's not really leaked. It's documented screenshots of their Twitter, and it's their process of making their Rose Chew medallion. So I don't really care about that. You can see that they're making their fucking stupid Rose Chew medallion. And let's see what this says. This looks interesting. There's nothing wrong with you getting anyone a birthday present or wanting to help someone. It's pathetic how people will go out of their way to make people feel bad for being human. Well, yeah, but then they got hurt by Chris Chan because Chris is just like that. Blocking anyone suspect to be a harasser like Chris does. We will not be part of this creepy stalking and logging of Chris's... You don't know what you're getting mixed up in. You don't know what you're getting mixed up in if you didn't expect this shit. You can't fucking go around crying about this shit when you said that you were ready for it. Like, what the fuck? Oh, God. How long have I been doing this? 16 minutes? I could read more of these. Do you guys want me to keep reading? I don't know. There's a lot of fucking shit from these idiots. I feel like the message is already clear. I think I'm done. I think I'm done with this shit. If you want to read these, you can go to the quickie and read them yourself. There's a lot of screenshots here. Basically, the summary of it is that these two people thought that giving Chris Chan money and giving Chris Chan presents would make Chris like him. But in reality, Chris doesn't want help, and you shouldn't try to help Chris. Helping Chris will just make you get conned out of your money, even though you're not really getting conned because you're the one stupid enough to give him money, and you will always be disappointed. Like, investing in Chris in itself is a disappointment. People have already given him money. People have already done this before you. D-Stex gave Chris over $1,000 to make so many pages in the Sonichu comic, and he didn't fucking do it. It's been a whole 2 years later, and Chris Chan still hasn't fucking done it. Don't give Chris money. Don't fucking do any of this shit. You will be disappointed.
Citizens of the internet, my name is Robert Simmons V, better known as Sonichu Fan 1985. The reason I am talking is because I want to talk about my fan, my hero, Sonichu. I also want to talk about China and Dice, because few people make fun of him when he was saying that though. But see, Chris Chandler is a good Christian. He said China because he talked about vagina, okay? But see, he's a good person, didn't want to say that because it's a nasty, dirty word, okay? Dr. Kinsey talked about that. So, I want you to know, he said vagina, you dumb dorks, you were bot jerks. And if you ever try to hurt him again, I will crush you with my powers of the internet.
Hello everybody, Dylan here. Now, today we are going to be doing a quickie discussion. Robert Simmons V. Robert Simmons V was born 1985, aka Sonichu 1985, Solidus Chris. Solidus Chris is a nickname that he goes by. Was an anti-troll. For those of you guys who don't know, an anti-troll is someone who will partake in trolling activities and hang out with trolls, but he's actually trying to mess with the trolls. He's messing with the trolls and trying to bother them while also participating in their trolling activities. Who befriended Christian Weston Chandler on YouTube in 2008 and 2009. He put on his act copying Aspie traits with a Sonichu medallion of his own. Really just a classic Sonic colored yellow with no Sonichu tail. Talked in a loud monotone voice, liked Sailor Moon, and very kindly wished that Kristen Weston Chandler would also have Sailor Moon for a daughter, and performed a song he wrote for Chris Chan, complete with a sequence in which he heroically smote to death ED and the Robotnik jerks, which I don't know what Robotnik jerks are. What the fuck is that? Let's take a look at what oh, I guess it's another name for jerk op. I guess that's his name for jerk ops. The events that took place in Robert Simmons' life also coincided with Christian's life, from account hacking to getting his medallion taken. Robert Simmons seemed to have a slight slightly disturbed relationship with his sinister cousin, Andrew Simmons I. And if we look at Robert Simmons and pay attention to what he actually did as trolling, we can see that he's actually a precursor for Liquid Chris. And it's funny because one of the names he went by was Solidus Chris. Chances are some of the trolls that were involved in this decided to recycle this into the Liquid Chris arc. So when I do inevitably talk about Liquid Chris for the trolling stuff, just know I'll be talking about very similar things that this guy is doing. Who is not a good actor that seems to parallel Chris's own femdom / male sub kink. Robert Simmons V also appeared in Sonichu issue 7 in the radio interview with Jiggly Ami. By the 21st of February 2009, Robert Simmons V had taken down all of his videos and changed his profile to announce, "I decided to remove all of my videos because I have come to the realization that Mr. Kristen Weston Chandler is a horrible person. It took me a while to understand that Encyclopedia Dramatica did not slander Chris, but rather was telling the truth. From lying to his fans about Nintendo deal to all of his perverted ways. I cannot bring myself to be a fan of his comics anymore. Not to mention, he doesn't bother to update anymore. My only regret in this whole ordeal is that I wasted my time trying to defend such a self-centered, arrogant, sexist, homophobic asshole." Wow, that's a very modern day feminist talking point, but whatever. "As my cousin said it himself about Chris, what a selfish cow. Bottom line, lose some fucking weight, god damn it." Robert later claimed that these were not actually his true and honest words, but rather those of Clyde Cash, who hacked into his account, and he actually did work with Clyde Cash behind the scenes, so that's probably why he said that. Church visit, and apparently there's more of this, and that's the church audio. I might play some of that at the end of the video. I don't know. I'll play a couple of videos so you'll understand who this guy is. On the 15th of March 2009, days before the Emily date, I don't know if I did a video on that yet, Robert and another troll drove to Chris's church uninvited. Robert goes up to Chris while the other troll remains in the background, introducing himself with, "Hi, I'm Robert." Chris recognizes him and they start talking. Robert accompanies Chris to church. Highlights from the audio includes trolls, Chris's sweetheart search, Family Guy, and homosexuality. Now, the funny thing is, when he met Chris in the church, he didn't actually use his Robert voice. Usually when he would do his videos, he had a weird voice that he would do to try to sound like Chris Chan. But when he met Chris in church, he talked normally, and Chris didn't seem to notice this at all, and just was perfectly fine with it. And he ended up talking to Chris's dad more than anything. He didn't really even talk to Chris too much. So if you decide to listen to the full audio, it'll be a lot of him talking to Bob. And this is Robert's appearance in the comics. And it says Robert Simmons V appears in Sonichu 9, as does Blaze Bob Sonichu, who was inspired by Robert. Oh, I didn't know that Blaze Bob was inspired by him. That's one of Panda Halo's creations. I don't remember if it is. But yeah, this is what he looked like in the Sonichu comics. And I want to look at this second one because I think he has a katana. He does. He has a fucking katana. Way to make him a giant fucking neckbeard, Chris. And that was everything on Robert Simmons V.
I actually, I think that, like, people might be pissed when they're hearing this shit because, like, I actually talked more to Bob because he was interesting as fuck, though, and, like, telling me about, like, the Commodore 64 and how apparently, like, before fucking Chris could speak, he was playing video games, though. Yeah. And how, according to him, 124 levels trying to get to Koopa, and he talked about Yoshi's Island. Like, dude, you're talking about fucking 4 different games, dumbass. But whatever, he's old. Yeah, I do the same thing with my grandma. Like, whatever, Grandma. Yeah, Japan's awesome, right?
Hey everybody, Dylan here from DHT. Now today we are going to be doing a quickie discussion video, and this will be the last video in the White Knight series, and that's because I grossly overestimated how many genuine fans of Sonichu are out there that are infamous on the internet. So I actually only have 2 examples. I looked throughout the quickie and there just sadly isn't any more articles on genuine Sonichu fans, and this one's a pretty short one, so as is, this series is already kind of stretching it. Sorry that there won't be more. I'll just have to find a different subject to talk about. But today we are going to be talking about Sonichu is Cool, the only other genuine fan of Sonichu documented by the Quickie. Now, Sonichu is Cool is a slow in the mind, which is Chris's term for people that are mentally challenged like himself, Pokemon fan from England, who along with Kenneth Irwin Englehart, who we covered last time, if you haven't seen that video, go check it out, was one of the only 2 documented people who ever unironically liked Sonichu. It is still unknown to this day why Chris chose to target a literal, true, and honest fan of his works. In the video that is included below, Sonichu is Cool discusses Clyde Cash's fake death and tries to inform Chris that Clyde was still alive and posting comments to her videos. Evidently, this fell on deaf ears, as Chris still came down on Sonichu is Cool despite this information, which could have been actually useful for him to see. Now, I'm gonna play a bit of Sonichu is Cool's video, but just warning you, it's really hard to make out what they're saying, so I'm actually not going to be playing it fully. I just want to play it for a second so you can see what type of person Sonichu is Cool was, and that the Quickie article is not lying about them having a mental disability.
Okay, this one's for Hello Mason, who wanted me to do more videos. I'll do more videos soon, but not.
Yeah, that video is genuine. It is from Sonichu is Cool. Now, Chris Chan makes a call-out video, and I'll play Chris Chan's audio, but when it comes to Sonichu is Cool's response, I'll read that myself. Their video goes on for a while, so I'm just gonna read it out, so you don't have to deal with that. I could drag it out, I could drag this video out, but I value your sanity, so let me play Chris's video.
The following is addressed to this individual whose YouTube account is this only. The opinions and the feelings and emotions expressed in this video are not representative towards any persons other than this one. Thank you very much. I don't know. You seem to hide behind a face mask and a beanie. Who do you think you are? Tuxedo Carmen? You're so naive and slow in the mind. I couldn't even give a dang about you. And if you want my trust, you're gonna have to do some earning, man. You gotta come out into the open. You gotta come out where I can meet you. Huh? Dumbass.
So, Chris Chan actually made a video calling out this person who did literally nothing wrong. He called them retarded, and then made a Sailor Moon reference, which is redundant because you can't call someone retarded then openly admit that you watch anime. So, he attacked one of his genuine fans. One of the only times he genuinely had someone liking his shit, and he chose to attack them and side with internet trolls, because that's the type of person Chris Chan is. Now, Sonichu is Cool saw this, and they chose to respond. I'll play their video just for a second so you can see what they actually wore most of the time, and I'll read out their stuff because I'm sure you don't want to hear them just talk out in this voice in this way for a whole 3 minutes.
So, this is a reply to Christian Chandler.
Yeah, be thankful that I decided to cut that. Transcript. Sonichu is Cool says, so, this is a reply to Kristen Chandler, who made the video where he called me names, including dumbass, which he did, because he's an asshole. I'm recording this again because the sound was very bad. Brings out a piece of paper with Kristen Weston Chandler's name on it to kind of parody his video like he did a second ago, as you guys saw. So, this is for the maker of the Sonichu, pronounces it as Soniku comics, because yet again they are slow in the mind, whose name is this and this only, fully parodying Chris's intro of the video calling them out. It was very mean of you to say all that nasty stuff to people, and what about it come to you? I have not tried to get your trust, or whatever you said on your video, but the only thing I've shown is a true fan of Sonichu and yourself for a very long time, and you called me names. I have done lots to sort out the trolls who were hating you, and I have argued for you when those nasty guys said bad stuff about you. I thought you were truly a good guy. Well, now you have lost a good fan, and I might even be one of your best fans you've ever had. That's very true. I have now chopped up my Sonichu medallion because I think you are an idiot. That is very sad that someone that actually has mental disabilities is calling you an idiot, Chris. But it's very fitting for you because you were calling them names. And I am not a fan of Sonichu anymore. Anyway, apology accepted, and I do see the vids you made. You have a lot of people to apologize to who you have said so much bad stuff to. People who have not done anything to you. I'm not one of your fan base anymore. That's not even close to being right, but I'm not going to pick on them because they don't know any better. But I still think you are okay. A lot of bad stuff has happened to you, and I'm not blaming you, as you have a lot of hate from nasty people, and that gets you all mad. Yeah, I think you should concentrate more on the comics and less on YouTube, as there are a lot of bad people on YouTube, which why I wear a disguise. I actually made lots of vids without the mask before. I started wearing this, I think it was cool too. Anyway, an update on my comics. Second page is done and posting 2 pages online. The address is on my YouTube anyway, from the Beanie Mask YouTuber who is now known as GX or G Extreme after my comics. Bye. That's all for now. Gene of X. And that was all of it. That was all of Sonichu is cool. Now, Chris Chan did something extremely fucked up, and yet again it shows that if Chris Chan actually did have people that genuinely liked his stuff, he would chase them away. Chris Chan can't have nice things because Chris Chan constantly ruins every nice thing that comes his way.